Hello my loves, welcome back. Today I'm putting more makeup on my face. I feel like I've put more makeup on my face on camera this year than I have in quite a few years past. Here's Miss Freya. Do you want to introduce the video? Do you want to tell them what we're doing today? Our house is a complete mess at the moment. This is a little bit of a tangent. I had a bit of a crazy week last week trying to get something done for the nursery, and it literally took me a whole week to do it. It was sanding a dresser. It was a nightmare. Anyway, that's done, but now I'm playing catch up on my whole life, which includes trying to sort this room out, which has been a dumping ground for nursery stuff and other life things. But the most important thing I want to get done today is a look with the Tones of Turd palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. So this palette was born from a April Fool's joke. So they popped up like a palette on their Instagram account. It was a picture of a palette. It was called Tones of Turd, and the people loved it. So they brought it to the masses, kind of. Now there's two iterations of this palette. This one, which is Tones of Turd, and then there's the Grounded palette. They are the exact same palette on the inside. The only differences is the name of the palette. So you can either get Tones of Turd or you can get Grounded. And then inside the shades are the same, but the names of the shades are different. Now I am just opening this palette for the first time. I'm going to show you how it comes. These are just empty pans, not really. They've actually put like little protective pieces over these special shimmery shades. So I'm just going to pop them all out. Look at her. Oh, this has to go on my eye. These are sensational. They're almost fluorescent, and this is super interesting. That's like a blue and like, oh, it's more like a I feel like on camera it's coming off like blue and green, but it's more like a turquoise and gold. Oh my gosh. Recently when I've been reviewing the Glaminatrix palettes, I've been doing them quite in depth and trying to use all of the shades, if not like as many as I possibly can. I'm not going to do that today because I'm now familiar with the Glaminatrix formula. I know how it works. I'm really confident that it's good across the board. And since I'm also very time poor this week, what I'm going to do is a different look on each eye. I will mention they also sent a card with the shade definitions. It's a very serious glossary for a very unserious palette. Now, when the team at Glaminatrix reached out to me about this palette, they offered me the option of having the Grounded palette or the Tones of Turd palette, because I knew like they're the same palettes when it comes to the actual shades in there. I thought it would just be a little bit fun and silly to take the Tones of Turd palette. I will also mention that when they showed the April Fool's mock-up palette, it's not exactly like this palette. They basically took a palette that they already had in the works and they put a different name on it essentially, so that the option was there. But I think it's very, very fitting. I think we should swatch the palette. So I'm going to swatch from like left to right, top to bottom. So first up we have Ghost Wipe, which is a matte white shade. Then we have Baby Poop. This is a really beautiful kind of mustardy yellow, but it's a little bit brighter, quite warm yellow shade. This one is Runny Honey. It's like if a chartreuse and a mustard had a baby. I quite like that. Next up we have number 2, and we're getting into some of the browner shades. This one here is Logjam. That is a dark chocolatey brown. That little bit more of a swatch. Then we're getting into the shimmery shades. This one is Dump and Dazzle. Oh my. That's, wow. Look at that. I'm super curious about these guys. So this one is Triple Flush. Oh my. Wow. Can you see that like fluorescent flip that it has? It's like a turquoisey green kind of shift. Oh, and it goes to like a purpley, like translucent shade. And then we have turtle heading. These names, man, they are hilarious. These feel very creamy in the palette. Look at them. They are gorgeous. This one is Plugged Up. I'm very curious about this. I feel like that has a bit of like a blackened base to it, but it's not, I don't feel like it's black. It's almost like a dark, maybe like a dark sort of greeny base, which is really interesting. I love it. And that beautiful red reflect that it has, gorgeous. The last of the shimmers is Corny Surprise. I'm keen to see how this comes out. On my angle, it's kind of like, I can see the separation of the like blue and like yellowy green that's in there with a little bit of like a grayish blue hue to it. That's really interesting. We've got Crop Dust. So this is another matte to brown. Oh, they're not as creamy feeling as the shimmers when they're swatched. After swatching those shimmers, they're very soft, don't get me wrong. The mattes are very, very soft. After swatching all of these feel like wet, almost like paints going on. Next up we have Bow Babe. These ones do feel a little bit firmer pressed in the palette, and I'm wondering if they're going to be similar to the formula that was in the Nearly Natural palette, where they were really like more subtle wash of pigment, which I loved. That palette's probably still my fave at this point. I quite like this sort of formula of their mattes because I love the control that it gives you. If you want to build it up, like you just build it up. But if you're really going for like a low makeup or more like natural to no makeup look, you can use these sort of shades with ease to create some really interesting like soft effects on the eye. You can bet I'll definitely be using those shades. And the last three shades that we have, these are all really rich and beautiful colors. So we've got Sweet Relief. This is a really beautiful dark green. Look at that shade. We've got Potty Mouth. This looks to have some red to it. Yeah, it's like a reddish brown. Love that. And then we have Skid Mark. This one is a black. So there we go. That is the palette there. This is giving off really like foresty, grounded, like earthy tones, but done with color. And I kind of love that. I can't wait to play with some of these. And I will definitely stand by what I said about these two. I think it's that sort of softer, sheerer matte formula. I'm really looking forward to playing with those. These look really interesting. You can see the swatches there. They're fun colors and I think they would complement each other quite well. I like that they've got, you know, some sort of mustardy, dirty looking like yellows and greens in there, but they're still in that like lighter sort of realm. And then we've got some darker browns, which is nice, and a white and a black. I am going to leave these swatches on my arm as a just in case I want to reference something. And I'm going to start. I am going to be using the Glaminatrix brushes today. These are gorgeous. I've been loving them and using them since I received them. They launched alongside the Timeless Tones palette. Definitely want to use these softer shades down here with these fluorescents. And then I think I might go something a bit darker and richer with, I'm keen to use Potty Mouth. I want to use Plugged Up. Oh, I kind of want to use both on it. I don't know how to make it work with 3 shimmery shades on my eyes. But I'm going to have a play. I'm going to start with Crop Dust. Yeah, this is like the formula in the Nearly Natural palette. I love it so much. It's just so soft and smooth. They almost blend themselves, which I think is, it's just, this is what I like. This is what my 40-year-old face likes. Now I'm going to take Bow Babe. These names are hilarious. I kind of love it. I'm just going to pop a bit of this in the outer corner and we'll just blend it sort of up to the, like into that sort of brown shade a little bit. I really love how this formula of the mattes almost allows like your natural skin to shine through, and it's like a really beautiful combination of your actual skin and the eyeshadow. It's not just like intense color eyeshadow covering up your skin. This is subtle translucent makeup done really well, and it's hard to find. Like there's not that many brands that do a formula like this effectively. Quite often when you get eyeshadows that don't have a lot of pigmentation to them, they just look kind of blur on the lid. They come across kind of patchy, whereas these are smooth. I'm picking up a little bit of Triple Flush, so this is the yellow shade, and I am going to pop that over the inner part of the lid. Oh, this is that beautiful like translucent sparkly formula I love. It's so twinkly and pretty. And now I'm going to go in with Turtle Heading. This is the green shade. So this is a little bit of a flakier formula. So I am getting a tiny little, if we can focus, I am getting a tiny little bit of fallout, but that's okay. This is why we do our eyes first. So interesting thing about that color is it doesn't really come across green on my eyelid at all. Not that I can see anyway. It's almost like a really beautiful pale yellow with like a peachy pink reflect. You're getting like the green reflect is on the curve, which I think is interesting because in the pan like this just looks super green. So I think like those shades, you're going to get the most out of them when you're wearing them across your whole eyelid, because you're going to get that like, you know, the curvature of the eyelid allows you to see a little bit more of the colors that are within that eyeshadow. So I'd say that they're best used as like a one and done shade. Oh, I'm a bit torn. I really want to use these two shades. So I think that's what I'm going to do along with Plugged Up. I'm going to start with the green, which is Sweet Relief, and I'm going to do a little bit. Wow, that is so pigmented. Oh, wow. So I'm going to put that on the inner corner and the outer corner. To be fair, I probably didn't need to pick up more eyeshadow. That is so pigmented. I mean, I could tell they were pigmented when I swatched them, but also, wow. I'm just spot cleaning that same brush, and now I'm taking Potty Mouth, which is the sort of reddy brown, and I'm gonna take that here in the crease. Again, really pigmented, but blends beautifully. Not patchy, really smooth. Just taking a clean brush and blending those edges just to soften them up a little. I do fear that I have put a little bit too much here in the inner corner. Now for Plugged Up, I'm just gonna pop it over the center of the lid. That color is so pretty. I feel like the base color of that Plugged Up shade is very similar to Sweet Relief. The base it's dark, but I don't think it's just like straight up like black. Yeah, I just feel like that might be like a dark green. Okay, so I do want to pop a few more shades on my eyes, but I need to get a base on first. So I'll do that. I'll come back. I will do a little bit of cleanup because I do have some fallout on this side. I will say Plugged Up, so the red shimmery, this one here, this shade didn't have as much fallout on this side. Tiny bit, negligible, can barely see it. This side there is a bit more, but that doesn't surprise me because Triple Flush and Turtle Heading are both quite flaky in their formulas, and that sort of formula tends to be a bit more at risk of leaving fallout. And the rest of the face is on. I basically just did like base, bronzer, lips, little demi lashes, mascara, brows. The only thing that I did to the eyeshadow was on this side, I took a little bit of my concealer like on the inner part of the eye to just sort of soften it, because I'd taken that eyeshadow just a little bit further than I would want to. So I just wanted to get some balance happening there with the shape. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take some more of these shimmery shades. I want to use Dump and Dazzle and Corny Surprise, because I'm kind of smitten with this line. Like, this is just so pretty. I'm going to do Dump and Dazzle over here on the darker side, and I am going to use another one of the Glaminatrix brushes. This is the angled brush. Because this is quite a metallic shade, I'm just sort of working it on the back of my hand to avoid fallout. And I'm just gonna start here in the center and just press it on. It's so pretty and so incredibly sparkly, and I can tell you a little bit goes a long way. I am going to do the same for Corny Surprise, so I picked up a little bit of product there. I'm just going to work it sort of into the brush and onto the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna press it. Yeah, I think that was the right choice. So this Corny Surprise, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see, but I feel like the blue and the like greeny gold pigment, they both kind of stand out on their own up close. Hopefully you can see there that there's like blue sparkle, a yellowy, like goldy green sparkle. All right, I'm calling the look there. I feel like I have done a balance of like dark versus light on this palette. I think both looks are really beautiful. Glaminatrix does sparkly eyeshadows just so well. You know how I talk about hating like desk palettes, like really big giant palettes? I feel like if Glaminatrix did a palette that was like the tiny, like itty bitty little pans of just all their shimmery shades that they'd ever created, like that's an encyclopedia of shimmery perfection that I want in my life. Give me the multi-chromes, give me the sparkle, give me the multi-dimensional shimmer. I love it. It's so pretty. And their mattes are fantastic as well. Like, they're just so easy to blend. There's a lot of shades in here that are very richly pigmented, and then they do have that nod to that like softer matte formula that is it's personally my fave from them. I think this is a beautiful palette. Although I didn't use all of the shades in the palette, there was nothing that I used that I found disappointing or annoying in any way. They all blend really beautifully, and the shimmers have really good adherence to the eye, which I like. And just as like a friendly piece of advice, if you want to buy the Tones of Turd palette because you're a bit tongue-in-cheek like that and a bit like silly, but you're worried about someone being like, oh, I love your eyeshadow, what are you wearing? You can still buy the Tones of Turd palette and just tell them it's the Grounded palette, because they're the same. They just have different names of the shades and a different cover. Also, I love this like embossed, the embossed poo emoji. It's so cute. I just think this palette is really fun. Thank you so much to Glaminatrix for sending it to me. I am certainly going to play around with this some more. If you did pick up either the Grounded palette or the Tones of Turd palette, let me know which one you chose, and let me know what your favorite shades are in the palette. I want to say a massive thank you to my channel members, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.